5-star at plus 150, and the first score by the Patriots, field goal or safety, 0.5-star, plus 160. Those are really good odds for these teams to possibly kick a field goal first. All you need is one of these teams to score a field goal, and you profited on them, right? Last year, they both scored a field goals. It was 3-3. And so you really profited if you took these last year. Now, sure, you might lose these, but it's just a half a unit. And it's just some great value at plus 150 and plus 160. And it follows the story. It follows the narrative that these teams are going to feel each other out. They're going to be a little bit nervous, especially the Rams. They're a little bit gun-shy, not quite taking the risks the first half, probably establish a running game. So this kind of feeds into my whole story about, the clock running faster, the running game hitting, them not taking gambles, the whole first half of the Super Bowl. So, Todd Gurley, right? What the hell is wrong with this guy? If you've seen him the last 2 games and playoff games, he has been completely ignored by the Rams. And I don't know if it's because he's injured or that he's being punished or that he's just not trusted and nervous or something in these playoffs. I don't know what the hell is going on here. But with the emergence of C.J. Anderson, do you think that the Rams really want to change things when they won 2 huge playoff games here? I'm taking Todd Gurley's rushing yards under 60.5 at plus 100, and I'm giving it 1 star, a full unit on that. And I love this bet. The fact that it's a 2-back system, it's screaming at you. Why is Gurley going to get a bunch of rushing yards? And plus, Belichick's going to make Goff beat him. That's another part of the story. Belichick's going to make Goff beat him. And eventually, Goff's going to have to start whipping that ball around. So, speaking of Goff, I didn't really take any of the unders in the first half, like I said, because they're way adjusted for Vegas. But I still am going with the storyline. Brandon Cooks, receiving yards under 75.5, a half star. I thought long and hard, and my first inclination about Brandon Cooks was, man, he played for the Saints, played for the Patriots, and now he plays for the Rams. He's got a huge chip on his shoulder. The Patriots got rid of him. He had 1 catch last Super Bowl. But then I start thinking, I remember Belichick, and it was pretty embarrassing for him to bench Malcolm Butler the whole game. And they blamed that. They said, this is your fault, Belichick, that the Eagles threw all over you for benching Malcolm Butler. But lo and behold, Malcolm Butler was not that good this year for the Titans. But anyways, does Belichick want that embarrassment again? The embarrassment this time would be Cooks. You let Cooks go because you do things the Patriot way, and he burns you in the Super Bowl. I personally believe that Belichick does have an ego. You can see it. And I think he's going to do whatever it takes to stop the speed guy from getting in front of him. So I see him taking Cooks out of this game, right? My first inclination is Cooks is going to dominate, but then I start thinking he's going to take Brandon Cooks out of this game. So I am going under 75.5 for a half unit. But on the other side of things, for Robert Woods, I'm taking a half unit on his receiving yards over 70.5. He should be open in the middle of the field when they are keying in on Cooks and putting a safety above him. So I like him on some crossing routes, some outs, obviously some misdirection plays. He's going to line up in the slot a little bit probably. I think that what Robert Woods is a huge play, and I think he's going to have a huge game. And I don't love the reception count with him. But I still might be taking that, and I might be taking him for a touchdown. I haven't yet. So here's the sneaky play, right, that I really like as well with Robert Woods. The last 5 games that the Rams played, Robert Woods ran at least 1 carry, and most of the time it was 2. That jet sweep that the Rams win and the end around, right? And it's a high yardage return play. I can definitely see, McVay running this play, especially if Gurley's hurt. Robert Woods gets lots of yards on this play, and they run it all the time. I expect Robert Woods to pop 6.5 on his first carry on the jet sweep. I think it's a 0.75 star or a 3/4 unit play, and it's at minus 120, so Vegas is telling you that it's also going to happen. You know, the under 6.5 is plus 100, so I'll take the minus 120 and say Robert Woods is going to get over 6.5 rushing yards. The next bet I'm making is a little bit of a challenge. Thought about it a lot. Now, if my whole narrative is wrong and the Patriots destroy this team and run the ball and the whole second half, then everything pretty much goes to hell. But you can't make every prop bet or else you're going to lose. I'm taking Sonny Michel's rushing yards under 79.5. Right? And I'm giving it 1 star. I love this play. It feeds into my narrative on both teams being careful. The Rams are going to stack the box a little bit, right? They seen what Michel did the last couple games. Here's a key stat that I found. Nobody for the Pats has rushed over 45 yards in the last 2 Super Bowls. No, not one single player, because Belichick really spreads out the love when it comes to these huge games. And have you seen the Rams lately against the run? How they stopped Zeke, how they stopped Kamara on the run. Now Kamara caught a ton of passes, but nobody has rushed over 47 yards against the Rams in the playoffs. And Ndamukong Suh, he's a little bit revitalized. He's stuffing that run. And so I can definitely see them stopping the Patriots' rush game, especially when it comes to the first half. So I'm taking Sonny Michel under 79.5 rushing yards. If you kind of look at the advanced statistics as well in the Rams, the reason they look bad on yards per rush is because they let some really big plays happen. But for the most part, they tend to stuff the run. They really do for the most part. So, I know the Patriots passing game can open the run game, but at the same time, the Patriots do not have that speedster they used to have in Gordon, who is now suspended, right? So I think the Rams can play a little bit more of a press defense to this situation. The next play I really, really am waiting for, and just because it's so cool, that I'm going to jump out of my seat if this happens. James Develin. I call him Develin McGregor from that old movie, The Fugitive. He's going to get over 3.5 rushing plus receiving yards. That means 1 pass catch or maybe 1 carry, right? I've been watching the Patriots, and Belichick has been using James Develin in his little sneaky play every single game. And I'll tell you right now, Belichick won't be able to live with himself if he didn't do one of those "this is the Patriot way" plays with James Develin, showing that everyone contributes. I'm also looking for a touchdown prop for him too. I haven't found one yet, but I'm going to. And if you know of one, please let me know. Gronk, he scores a TD here. All right. And I know that the Rams are going to try to take him out, but I think he scores a TD, and I'm putting a half star on it at plus 180, right? Just real quick, Develin is just at minus 110 over 3.5 rushing plus receiving yards. But Gronk scores a TD is at plus 180. He's such a big target, and they will draw up a red zone play for him. The rest of the Patriot wide receivers are very small. Gronk scored twice last year in the Super Bowl, and he missed the Super Bowl before for injury. Okay, so that's another high-paying prop that I might sprinkle on, is Gronk scoring twice. Okay, it's at like plus 1,200, 12 to 1 or something, maybe better. I have to look at it again, but I'm thinking about that one. All right, but I do love the fact that Gronk should score a touchdown, and it's a half star plus 180. Want to quick bring up a big part of the Patriots offense, and it kind of feeds into what I think is going to happen. Julian Edelman, I'm not going to necessarily fade him, but I'm not placing bets on him, and here is why. He's their best receiver. But and you saw Amendola had like 150 yards last year when Edelman was hurt. He took Edelman's role. I just don't want to take his over 80 yards receiving and over 7.5 completions, because I think Wade Phillips is smart enough to either jam him at the line and get him off of his route early so they can get to the quarterback, or put a safety over him on every play. He absolutely destroyed Kansas City. If Kansas City just keyed on Edelman and Gronk and just manned up on Hogan and Dorsett, they possibly could have won that game. But they completely blew what they're supposed to do the end of that game. Oh, also, you have the best quarterback of all time thrown to these guys, and maybe there's nothing they can do. But I think that they could have done a lot more. What I did like, what I saw, is that when Kamara was burning the hell out of the Rams, they started jamming him with Sue, and then Sue would try to go up to the quarterback, but it was a smart play, and so I can definitely see this happening. Somebody jamming up Edelman a little bit, and also they might try to take him out of the game. So thought a lot about this one. And this was one of the ones like Brandon Cooks. At first I thought Edelman, licking my chops, and I'm like, wait a second here. Wait a second. I got to give some credit to McVay and Phillips here. Okay. But instead of Edelman, my story, I am going with Hogan and Dorsett. I am going with Chris Hogan over 42.5 receiving yards at a half star. And I'm going with Philip Dorsett over 28.5 receiving yards as a half star. If you look at their past few games, these receivers, even with Edelman ripping it up, seem to average more than that. Okay, so I think that these guys are going to be the sneaky ones popping open, while Gronk and Edelman are kind of stopped in the middle of the field. The next prop is one I absolutely love, and it literally smacked us right in the face. The Rams are giving this to us, and we have to see this, okay? They're giving this to us. It's Tyler Higbee scoring a TD plus 365. 3.65 to 1. 1 star play, baby. 1 unit. I love this. We already saw this play during the Saints game. A misdirection goal line play action pass to the right to Tyler Higbee. The fact that Cooper Kupp, their possession receiver's gone, Tyler Higbee's going to be the one on the goal line if there's a pass play to get that first target. I absolutely love this play. At plus 365, there is a ton of value there. All right, the last play that I have for you, obviously there's a few more that are premium plays, and you can become a member to check those out. But James White, over 50.5 rushing yards, a half star, and it was at minus 115 when I took it. I think that the Rams will do whatever it takes to slow down Edelman and Gronk and make the other players beat them, right? I already said that. I think that's what they're going to do, right? So when I saw Corey Littleton fail, when he tried to guard Kamara, and then they had to jam him eventually, and I think Belichick saw that too. How can he not? I'm sure he watched the most recent tapes, because that's what you do to see their most recent stuff, especially in a big playoff game like that. So he might see that as a weakness, because Littleton was not able to guard Kamara. But don't get me wrong, Breeze was precision throwing to Kamara, but so can Brady be. And 2 Super Bowls ago, White had 14 catches for well over 100 yards. Last Super Bowl he didn't. He only had 2 catches. But I think this is something that Belichick is going to key on. So I like James White over 50.5 receiving yards. Now, total receptions, I'm looking at that too, but it's getting up there. So Vegas kind of is telling you that James White's going to have a lot of receptions too. That's why I didn't want to take it. Okay? So I do like the receiving yards, because I think he's going to be the dump-off guy, the safe play. and it kind of fits into the narrative